So, well, a lot has changed in the last 30 years. And so India's birth rate has been declining rapidly. And now, we were at a 2.2 and now we have reached a 1.9. So when you go below 2.1, that means you do not have the replacement level of the population. So you cannot replace enough newborns and hence younger population into the demographics of your country. So that is alarming. And our strength has been our population. As you can see, the world eyes India as the global market because of the strength of our population. So these fertility rates going alarmingly down makes infertility treatments all the more relevant. They, in the future, should become more and more affordable and accessible. And, the infertility is not just concentrated in the metros. So it should reach the tier 2, 3, and even you'll be surprised to know that there is about 10% infertility in the rural areas also, if it is 15% in the urban areas. The average, yes, yeah. So I would attribute it to years of hard work and being very strictly SOP driven organization. So we have SOPs right from the clinician, the embryology down to the housekeeping, and we are very strict on quality checks. That is why we were given the European Society for Quality and Research Award, the only people from the country to have received that after State Bank of India. So, it's very important. Quality is very important to us. Secondly, we keep innovating. Innovation is the second factor, that whatever new comes in, like, now AI has started creeping into. So we are making use of it in our lab to select the best embryos. So, constant innovation, uh, implementing your SOPs, doing regular quality checks, and personalized treatment for each patient, because each couple is a different problem. So you have to personalize the treatment, and more you personalize, that is how we went from the journey of an average 35 to 40% success rate, and we ultimately achieved an 80% cumulative pregnancy rate. So actually, in a country like ours, where a large portion of the middle class, especially the lower middle class, may not be easily able to afford this treatment, so I think insurance guys should step up, and some of the corporates have just started doing that, like Infosys is doing it. Then Google and Facebook, to their global employees, they cover IVF as well as egg freezing treatment costs. So, I think the corporates should step up first. And also, we have come up with an innovative model that we've kind of created an insurance set, the Gaudium insurance for our patients. So it kind of helps them recover the cost that they have spent in 5 years' time. This is something very new we've just implemented. So similarly, I think tie-ups between corporates and fertility chains, tie-ups between insurance companies and fertility chains could be the future, wherein we should bring in insurance. Right now, there's no. So, Gaudium IVF plans to expand very rapidly in the coming 2 years. We are planning to put 18 big and 15 small centers across the length and breadth of the country. So, we already have a taste of being present right from Jammu and Kashmir to Karnataka in the south and Bihar in the east to Mumbai in the west. But we are planning to now go more into the tier 2 and tier 3 cities. So it is a very aggressive expansion plan, so that, we could make IVF more and more accessible to the larger population. And also, we opened up an office in UK. We're the first ones to do that. So we feel that, as proud Indians, we should be able to set up shop globally, because we are doing good work at much less the cost than the Western world. Medical tourism is another thing which we are very aggressively looking at Gaudium. We already get patients from 30 countries across the world. and we plan to ramp it up because in India you get the treatment here is 15 times less expensive than it would be in Europe or US. So, and we are giving good quality treatment. So, I think we need to capitalize on that. These are some of the plans we have for Gaudium. And so, we want to make world class quality level reproductive care available to most Indians. So patients are coming one from a lot from the African continent because their quality care is not available. Secondly, they're not very rich, so this cost kind of suits them. Then you have a lot of patients coming from the Middle East also, and then from Europe, UK, and US. Why patients are coming is because there also insurance covers maybe one or two cycles, and in some states it doesn't cover. So, when they exhaust that, if they don't get successful in those two or three cycles, then doing IVF privately there is like super expensive for a middle class American couple also. So, that is where we come in. So, including their travel to India, their stay in India, and the treatment is half the cost they would spend there. So, that is why this plethora of countries are coming here, not just the South Asia. So, it was much needed because the industry was completely unregulated. So, the regulatory framework is very welcome. But I think on ground implementation is still happening. It's not reached it's very varied in different states. In some states, the state boards are already there, everything is being done. In some, they are very slow in implementing. So once it's fully implemented, that is when I think we will see the impact that at least, we should small clinics mushrooming which do not pay attention to quality should not exist because they're just fleecing patients of money. So that has to be stopped. So I think once the law is fully implemented on ground, that will help check this and other unethical practices. But also, I feel that the law needs to gradually keep evolving as technology evolves. So a lot of genetic testing, a lot of genetic manipulation techniques are coming forward. So our law needs to constantly evolve as per the need of the Indian population because we can't let this birth rate decline further. So there are two very buzzing topics. Egg freezing is the future. Women are marrying late, they are pursuing their careers, and it's not a bad thing. I'm a woman too. So I feel that I call it reproductive freedom. So if you can freeze your eggs at the right age, you get reproductive freedom for another 5-10 years. So don't marry the wrong guy in haste. So that is one very upcoming area. And the second is, a non-invasive genetic testing coming in the future will be really helpful in detecting diseases which we can prevent from passing on to the next generations. So this is there. And of course, increasing accessibility. These are the emerging things, I think, in IVF. So there is a lot of things happening. So there is biological printing happening. They're trying to make ovarian tissue. They're trying to make testicular tissue as the ovarian reserves are falling. So these are all, I would say, right now in research phases and not reached the stage of mass application. And of course, cost is going to be a barrier because these are expensive procedures. But yes, these are future things which we can look at. Even uterine transplants, few of them have already happened in India. So yes, these are things of the future. They will take time. And then a lot of moral and ethical questions will arise with them. So we'll have to see what can fit into the Indian society and what cannot. So we are very aggressive in our research policies. So we are already doing a lot of research in the area of biological imprinting so that we can make oocytes out of stem cells. So that's an area we are looking at, because now the stage has reached that even the egg donors reserves are going down. So my question is, where do we get eggs 20 years down the line? So we need to do something about it.